Welcome back to the Legal Vixen podcast. I'm trial attorney Karen Kenny, and today we have a very special guest, my daughter, Samara Leilani.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. I've always wanted to do this.
I've wanted to have you on since we started this. I'm glad you're finally back from school and could do it.
Home from break.
Yes, so everybody knows by now that you're my daughter.
Yes.
You're currently a senior at San Diego State University.
I am.
How's that been going?
It's been going. It's been a really long journey, but I'm glad it seems like I'm graduating. I think if I get into one of those classes, which I still haven't been approved for, but God willing, I graduate in May. At least I'll walk. But,
yeah, you'll walk through the ceremonies.
it's been a long journey, which is crazy. It's been 4 years. Like
a lot's happened in that 4 years, huh?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Just going back, because everybody knows I've been a trial lawyer for, 31 years now. It's just a long time. I had you in 2004.
Yes.
When I was a public defender. I was a trial attorney at the public defender's office. And I did that job up until you were 8 years old.
That's right.
Yeah, which was crazy. I was able to still balance everything with you. We had your grandparents, thank God. Your dad was a fireman, so his schedule was more hectic, but he had several days off. So if I was in trial, he was able to take care of you.
Oh yeah, I had a fun childhood. Everybody took care of me very well.
It's just spoiled only child, huh?
Yeah.
So now, what I've always wanted to ask you is, what was it like growing up with a lawyer mom?
I knew I could never lie to you because I knew you'd always figure me out. And I knew that from a very young age. It was, I don't know, because I've seen you in court and I feel like you're a different person in a way. Like you kind of have this persona I feel like you step into.
Really?
Yes.
That's
like
so funny.
When you're ready to go to trial. Like I saw you throw a binder on the ground, like mid-trial.
And that was my closing argument.
I know. It was for theatrics. But, I just see this whole different side of you, which I think is so cool because me growing up a performer, I'm sure you saw a different side of me when I was on a stage. But I don't know, going home at the end of the day, it's like you're my mom, nothing, it's all I've known is just law. And I've picked up on things from a very young age. Like I have very vivid memories of us sitting in Shima when I was a child and you just going into detail about your trial. And I understood it when I should not have. I was like 7 years old,
I know. I was always wondering, I'm like, wow, did any of the stuff we talked about traumatize you?
No, I don't think it traumatized me. But I think I have had a hobby for the law is what I say. Like I talk about the law on TikTok and different things because I'm so familiar with it, but I do not want to go to law school.
No?
No.
People ask me that. Is she going to go to law school? I'm like, I don't know. That's up to her. I don't put any pressure.
That's what my boyfriend's for.
Because he's going to go to law school.
Yes.
That's true. So you grew up from an early age. I think we started you in being classically trained in opera at the age of 8. 7. And I think your first performance was at 8, singing an opera in front of a large group of people.
Yeah.
And then after that, you just took off performance-wise. Mm-hmm. You ended up at OSHA. I don't know if people know what OSHA is, maybe locally.
Orange County School of the Arts.
And that helped you hone in your performance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, even though I left, I'm still so grateful for that training that I had. And there's a lot of stuff that's gone on with that school, I'll say, that's not great or legal. Yeah. I will say, as far as I'm aware, every single instructor in my conservatory was absolutely incredible.
Like, what was the conservatory called?
Classical voice.
Okay.
So opera singing, choir, that was pretty much it.
You did a lot of performances.
A lot.
Which were fun to watch. And all the kids there were super talented.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
The level of talent.
Yeah.
And then you decided to leave for high school.
Yes.
And then you were in the Academy of the Performing Arts?
Yeah, APA.
Yeah, and that was through Huntington Beach.
Yes. So it was the same thing, kind of different than OSHA. OSHA had a conservatory that would have been like what I was doing in APA. There was the Commercial Music Conservatory at OSHA, and then at APA, there was MMET, which is basically, all you need to know is that if you're a singer in that program, you get to go on a stage 3 times a year and sing really fun songs, either Beatles, 70s, 80s, 90s, pop. Like, it is the funnest time ever. I loved MMET.
I know. I cried during your last performance when you were a senior. I was so sad.
I was crying at the end of the song.
I was like, this is it. There's no more. Oh, I got over it.
It was fun.
Maybe someday. Maybe on a concert stage. You never know.
Hopefully.
So having that type of performance basically ingrained in you, because you are such a good performer, you're a good speaker.
Thank you.
Do you think, because you've seen me in court, if people want to be, you know, an attorney that's in court, do you think they would benefit from like performance training?
Yeah, because you have to, the number one thing to learn when it comes to performing is to not care. And I think that's what I learned from a very, very, very young age. And knowing my peers, just like specifically in middle school, because that's kind of like an awkward age, I think that's what held a lot of people back when it came to their performance. Like, they could have the best vocals in the world, but if they couldn't bring it, then, you know, you're not going to get the part or whatever. It's the same thing for if you want to be a trial lawyer. Like, you have to be able to bring it and know how to put yourself out there, know how to get your point across, and convince people of you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing. I think that's why I've been able to find success on social media, is because that's just kind of been ingrained in me. It's what you see is what you get. I don't know. That's just always how I've been.
And what's your usernames on social media?
Samara Leilani on TikTok, Samara Leilani on Instagram, and Samara_Leilani on YouTube, which I need to get back on soon.
Okay. But your biggest platform is TikTok.
TikTok, yes. I just hit 120,000 followers today.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I like literally started crying when I woke up, because I was thinking like around 2 years ago was when I first started TikTok.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And, that one video that blew up when we went to the Scientology building.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been so fun.
Since you've been on TikTok and now you're growing your following, I want to ask your opinion of the lawyers that use TikTok. Have you ever looked at any of their stuff? What is your opinion? Because I'm conflicted. There's things that you had me do on my TikTok, which is Legal Vixen, and I'm starting to get more followers, and I think it's because you gave me a shout out on that crazy crispy hair thing. Hair by crispy thing that was going on. But I watched some of these and I'm like, oh, I just don't think I could do that. And my staff's like, no, you need to put it out there.
Why do you think you can't do that?
I don't know. I guess my fear is I'm afraid I'm not going to be taken seriously, because I'm in federal court a lot. Federal court is a lot different than state court. It's more formal. You know, the judges are all appointed by presidents. I don't know. I think it's just me in my head.
It is, because if that's what you're worried about, then you just have to put your own spin on it and do something that makes you feel comfortable, that like, okay, I can put this out there, but this is still hopping on a trend that's like currently being highly searched right now or whatever. My opinion on the lawyers on TikTok right now, they understand that my generation's the future. It's going to be their customers soon as my generation continues to grow up. And people don't know how to use Google anymore. Like, if you're going to look for a good TikTok and you're Gen Z, or not TikTok, if you're going to look for a good lawyer and you're Gen Z, you're going to go on TikTok.
Really?
Yes. Dude, I look for everything on TikTok. And maybe that's me. Maybe that's a me problem.
Well, I think it's your generation. It's just because you're Gen Z, I'm Gen X, and then we got the millennials between us. I don't know.
And even, I mean, it's just about making your face known. It's like the Morgan & Morgan ads.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere on YouTube.
Or the billboards in LA. Like, who are you going to call? Probably one of them, because you're not well-versed in attorneys in your area. That's all you've seen. Yeah, it's kind of like a running billboard on TikTok for your business. So that's the way I look at it. There's a way to do it to where it doesn't feel cringy.
Because I feel like I can be, and you've seen me, I can be such a nutball. Like, but then I've got the lawyer side. I'm like, no, people need to take me seriously because I really am a lawyer. But then I have this goofy side that you've seen.
Yeah. And I think you need to like find the happy medium between the two.
I know. I'm still trying. You're going to help me.
I'll pull it out of you. I think if anyone can.
That's right. You're interning for me this semester.
I am.
We're going to work on that.
Oh, we are.
All right. Going back to San Diego State,
yes.
You're going to actually graduate in 4 years. Crazy.
God willing, if I get into this class.
You're going to walk. You're going to walk in.
I'm going to walk in 4 years, yes, which that was not my plan going into it. And then I met my wonderful boyfriend and realized I should get my life moving and I shouldn't just stay in college forever.
He motivated you.
Yes,
which is good. I think you've taken summer school every summer since you've been in.
Well, yeah, because I started doing 9 units a semester. I was like, let me just ride this wave of college. Girl, don't.
I know, but I was trying to be patient. I've never been the type of mom that was
Yeah, no, and I needed that because had you like been pushing me and I don't know, because you know me, I can't be convinced unless I'm naturally convinced. Had I felt pushed, it would have been like, I don't know, I would have just been resentful a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't want you to resent me.
Yeah, and I don't.
So this is gonna be funny. I think I've told you this. Your first year there, when everybody has to live in the dorms 2 years unless you can get out of your housing contract. You were in the dorms.
Yes.
And it was so funny. You were really getting into the fraternity party things, and you would FaceTime me from these parties. I'm like, I should feel good. She's comfortable enough to be FaceTiming me from a fraternity party where everybody's having fun. So it was just, I had a lot of nights where I couldn't go to sleep until I could see that you were back at the dorm.
Yeah.
That was stressful.
Yeah. But, you know, it was fun. If I felt like I was somewhere I shouldn't be, I wouldn't be calling you, you know?
That's true.
That was my outlook. I was like, you know what? I'm around people that care about me. Like, I went out with friends that I feel safe with. Like, I would never go out with anybody that I didn't feel safe with. Mm-hmm. And if that ever happened, I would never go out with them again. Because I'm the friend that I'm going to make sure everybody gets home. But I also expect that of my friends as well. And I think everybody should. I think that's very, very important in college.
Yeah, but there's always those people that you end up babysitting. I mean, I think it's no matter what generation, you have a group of friends, you go out when you're young, and there's always that one friend that just overdoes it, and you're babysitting.
I think freshman year, everybody shares that role, for sure. Mm-hmm. Like, I was definitely babysat at points, but I've also been the babysitter at many other points. And then there's the people who you get past freshman year and they don't really figure it out, because freshman year is the year you figure it out. You figure out how much you can drink, how much you can't drink, how you behave when you drink. Like, you learn a lot about yourself and your relationship with alcohol your freshman year of college. And I think that's something a lot of people don't talk about. And a lot of people take it too far and don't realize it, and it becomes part of their routine to go out 4 nights a week. And then summer hits and they're so bored, and then it carries into their sophomore year, and sophomore year is one thing, and then it carries into junior year, and then it carries into senior year, and these people are still going to frat parties. And it's like, we do have bars, you know, but it's the party scene. I don't know. It's very fun freshman year, and
I was taken back by when I don't know what I was doing there. I think I was either dropping something off or meeting up with you, and these dagers that go on in the middle of the day, and girls are literally like naked, like bathing suit tops. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I was in college in the 80s.
Yeah.
When fraternity parties, no one dressed like that.
Yeah, I think that's just a San Diego State thing. I think maybe like Miami, maybe U of A. SDSU.
Where the weather allows for that?
Where the weather allows, for sure. But yeah, like I remember when I lived on campus last year and I had my car, or I guess this year, and I was like driving somewhere and I was on Montezuma, and you know, all these girls are walking towards East Falls to go to a party, but then there's like a ton of construction workers across the street, like taking pictures and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's
that's
kind
creepy.
of, yeah, you know, and it's like, it feels like its own little bubble. And, you know, it's great that SDSU does feel that way, but like, there are also strangers out there that are building these buildings. You know?
Well, there was, I don't know if you were a freshman. There was one time I remember, because I'm on the parent page, so I see all the stuff parents post. I think it was an off-site party at one of the satellite houses, are they called? Where people that weren't from the school, and there was some fight, or I don't know if anybody had a gun, or there was just some weird stuff going on at one of those parties that I don't know. I don't remember exactly what
would have been. I feel like this rings a bell probably because I've heard this story multiple times. That sounds like something that would happen during the pre-rush period.
Yes.
Where every fraternity being associated with a house is completely anonymous. And they're trying to...
Anybody can come?
And anybody can come in.
That's kind of scary.
Anybody can come in. Non-students, you don't know who's there. There's no vetting process.
And then isn't it so crowded? I wouldn't feel safe. Well, I'm claustrophobic, so...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The pre-rush parties are insane because you are literally getting every single person, like, physically possible. And it's also, like, a house. It's not like Stacks, our fraternity row, where a lot of those parties are outdoors and open air, and it's a lot nicer. Even those get very crowded, but at least there's airflow, you know?
Yeah, that's... Ugh.
Yeah, it's bad.
The other thing I remember, and I think you told me the day after this happened is... Obviously, don't say the name of the fraternity, but people OD'd, and then after that, it seemed like the dorms were getting Narcan in the dorms. I'm like, oh my gosh, things have just changed so much out of the years.
Yeah.
Were you at that party when that happened?
I was, and I didn't know it at the time. Like, these people later became my friends, and it's really sad when something like that happens because. It's just the sort of thing like you hear about, but you don't think it's gonna like actually happen to someone you know. Or on the other hand, people are posting about it on Yik Yak and taking it way too far, already making jokes like minutes after the ambulance arrives. And it's like, hey, somebody almost just lost their life.
Wasn't it like 3 people?
Yes, it was 3 people. And I think college students are desensitized to that, and I don't think that's good. I don't think we should be desensitized to the risk of fentanyl and the risk of taking these drugs and not testing them, because people are going to do it no matter what. At least test it.
I don't even know how they would do that.
There's testing strips. They haven't. I mean, after that happened, they put testing strips in all the sorority houses, and I'm sure fraternity houses as well. But it's sad because when you get to know those people, they're literally just normal people. They're not druggies. They're people who are having fun at a party. And when something like that happens to you, I think there's kind of a stigma about you after, especially if something so public happens. And that's another thing that makes me feel very sad because I know those people personally and they're all great people. And, it's the whole fentanyl conversation needs to be talked about in a much more sensitive light on all aspects.
Yeah, I think since all this crazy stuff has happened, the school has really come down on the whole Greek system. Fraternities and sororities, because like I said, I see certain stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think that stems from? Do you think it's more the hazing, or do you think it's just they're looking for anything to just try to shut down the Greek system?
There's theories. There's a lot of theories. There's fraternities that should have been kicked off campus a long time ago that only recently did due to how bad it was. And the reason why they should have been kicked off a long time ago and weren't able to, and that didn't happen, is allegedly because their donors built a bridge,
Oh.
Yeah, it's a political thing. It's totally a political thing. And I think SDSU is trying to shift into more of an academic school and trying to become a research school.
What?
That's just what I've heard.
Isn't that UCSD downstream?
Exactly. But they are kind of doing a lot of things in their power to... they act like they're taking hazing more seriously, but then they'll kick off a fraternity for no reason. or no valid reason, or won't investigate other much more serious reports of hazing at other fraternities. They just want to kick off the top dogs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I know you went through the whole sorority rush thing. Yes. I didn't pressure you. I was just like letting you make your own decision.
Yeah.
How, looking back, would you have not gone through it, or?
If I didn't go through it, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to make my TikTok series. And
that's true, too. You did make an entire series off that, sorority rush.
I mean, I don't know. It's so unserious because it's like I don't feel one way or another about it. Like, obviously, I didn't like the sorority I was in. I wouldn't have joined Theta had I did more research, and just also had I known how I would have been treated in that sorority. I can't tell you how many times I walked into the Theta house and like invited for just like a casual event or like a casual, like I forget what the nights are called where people can just like show up. And I would just get weird looks. And it was me and my 3 friends. And
why do you think that is?
I don't know. I really don't know, because it's like, guys, we're already at the bottom here. Like, the least we can do is be nice to each other. And I think that made me just kind of question the whole ranking system and how Greek life actually works, and if the girls who are at the top are actually the mean girls. Because it started, the thing is, like, the stigma is that the girls who are at the top are the meanest, the prettiest, the bitchiest, yada yada, because they think they're better than everybody. And then all the bottom houses are the nicest because, you know, they're all stuck there and they have to kind of stick together. But when you're on the other side of it, it's weird. It's like a competition of how can we all figure out how to climb this ranking system, but it creates weird competition between individuals in the sorority. Like,
that's weird.
It's very, and that's why I wanted to make my whole series exposing the Greek system, exposing how it worked at SDSU, and
you got a lot of hate for that, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
from the sorority people.
I ruffled so many fethers, and
then you were pushing Kaio because they were coming on.
Oh yeah, I love Kaio. The way I look at it is, I knew I was going to piss people off. I also think I've gotten so much better at making TikToks and how I carry myself on camera. I did not care about being bitchy back then or coming off that way, because that was my personality, and people who knew me in real life like knew I wasn't actually being a bitch. But I watch those videos back now and I'm like, ooh, I went really hard. And so I've chilled out a little bit in how I approach certain things. But I got so much hate for that series. I really upset one girl in particular who made a whole crashed out video about me, and I didn't even get through half of it without dying laughing. So I don't know. It ruffled so many feathers. A lot of people were pissed about it. A lot of people loved it, though.
I think you opened up the eyes to the new girls that were coming in that didn't know anything.
I can't tell you how many friends I made from all sororities, because a lot of people saw the hate from all the sororities just talking about it and whatnot. But I can't tell you how many friends to this day I still have that I made that were like, I love you for this. Like, you are so real for this. And those are the people that I want to watch my content anyways. Right. You know, it's never a personal attack on anybody unless you attack me first, which, you know, it's never a personal attack on anybody. And I think a lot of people are mature enough to realize that and are mature enough to look at this from a broader area of seeing where I'm able to come from and kind of how I'm explaining this just on a scale completely removed now. And I'm able to look at it for what it is, for what we all know it is, you know? And if that upsets people, because I didn't choose to just go after one sorority, but I looked at all of them. I looked at the dirty rushing. I looked at what was happening. Like, I looked at all of it. I wanted to keep it fair because I'm completely removed. And if that upsets people, that upsets people.
Weren't there people that are like, hey, can you take that down?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Why would you take it down? You're helping the girls that don't know anything, like, decide, do I really want to be a part of this?
Yeah.
Because it's
And to this day, I get girls from all over the country DMing me still.
Oh, so they're still watching your videos?
Yeah. People look stuff up and like they'll just ask for like rush advice or just anything. And so I do not regret any single video I posted, even though I wish I would have approached it differently, just because I was still figuring out my personality on social media and how I wanted to carry myself and how I wanted to come across to people. I don't regret a single video I put out, because I can't tell you the amount of like heartbreaking conversations I've had with girls, and I've been a shoulder for them to cry on, and like what that means to me. Because all I've ever wanted to do with my platform and building social media to begin with is just to be able to help others in whatever way that looks. Even if it's just being a girl's girl, even if it's just being a shoulder to cry on after you got dropped from your sorority, like no matter what it is, I just want to be your friend. I just want to help you, and I just want to make other people feel good and let people know the reality of the situation, because nobody else is gonna.
Yeah.
And that's what we need, is just truth in all aspects.
Well, it's changed so much, and I think we've already had this conversation, because when I went through it in the 80s, there was no computers and social media and all of that. So all the girls, you had rotation groups.
Yeah.
And they would rotate, and as soon as that group of girls left the house and went on to the next sorority, they'd have to go in and rate the girls they just talked to 1, 3, or 5. Like just like that, you met this person for 5 minutes.
I think it still works that way. I opted out of Rush before I dropped Theta, so I never was on the other side of it, but I did see the sheet that they sent out and how they rate girls. It's kind of the same concept.
But then the one thing that they started that we didn't have was this thing called the algorithm. And to this day, I don't know what that even is.
I think it's literally just a way of sorting people using a computer, because there's just so many people rushing nowadays. And like, I don't know. I do not know. This is what my assumption is based off the term. I think it's everybody kind of has a profile when they register for Rush now. And I believe these numbers probably get assigned to them, and then I don't know how it looks. I really don't know. So I can't speak on that, but I would assume that comes in with the progression of technology.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing to me. Like they're just it made it seem like they were just trying to somehow disperse so many girls to each sorority.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that.
They still try to do that.
Yeah. Like they always talk about the algorithm.
Yeah. They do that. I don't know. It doesn't, it's this broken system. It's a system they tried to fix and then broke it even more.
Well, at least you only spent a year in it.
Yeah.
Before you figured out, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. But the Greek system in general, especially at San Diego State, has had its history of problems.
Yeah.
I believe, I forget how we ended up, did you bring this up to me? I forget how we figured out there was this huge federal drug case that went on years ago called Operation Suddenfall. Is that what it was called?
You want to know how I know about what Operation Suddenfall is?
Yeah.
People are going to like this one.
Uh-oh.
In Theta, there was a running joke about us being part of a ring. And it ran out of the basement. And that's kind of like the secret that you find out after you get initiated. And so, you know, as there's more and more jokes and inside jokes about this, like, ring, people are like, okay, wait, what was this actually? And it had ties to this big drug bust at SDSU. And so I started researching the big drug bust one day, because I was like, was Theta really a part of this? Like, were we really running this thing from our entire basement, and we had a lab down there? Is that really what was going on?
A lab?
To this day, and I have done hours and hours, an embarrassing amount of hours of digging on this. I have not been able to find a single tie with a single member of Theta at that time to Operation Suddenfall.
But did they get kicked off after that?
I don't know. I know they got kicked off in 2011.
Oh, okay.
But that would have been after. And that was another thing. They would tell us that we got kicked off campus because of the drug bust. No, we didn't. I just looked it up before we started. We got kicked off. I say we. They got kicked off because they forgot to fill out some form or something.
What?
Yeah. I don't know why they wanted to I don't know.
What year was Operation Sudden Fall?
Oh gosh, what was 17 minus 25 is 2008.
Oh, wow.
Market crash.
Oh, yeah, the whole real estate crash.
Yeah, so that was how I found out about Operation Sudden Fall.
Interesting. So I tried to look stuff up too because I'm a federal attorney. I'm like, oh, did anybody have plea agreements? I couldn't find stuff.
It was really hard to research.
Yeah.
They did make a documentary on it.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what the show's called, but they made a documentary on it, and that was interesting to watch. I mean, it wasn't anything that wasn't already public record, but I don't know if you would like to share what you tried to find now.
Wait, which part?
All of it. Because, public record request.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I tried to get the records from San Diego State directly from a public records request, and I tried to do that for months because I was curious, and then they made me believe that, oh yeah, we're going to get these, but we have to redact them, and then February of this year they said, oh sorry, we don't have anything to give you. So
what do you mean by that?
It was weird because the DEA was involved, which is public record. San Diego State Police were involved, so why wouldn't they have anything? And then the Student Affairs Office, which I think is related to the Greek system, there would have been something, so I don't know why they wouldn't give me records. I didn't pursue it anymore, but
I'd be curious to open that back up.
The whole thing is weird.
I'd be curious to push for that more.
For the Operation Sudden Fall records?
Because what do they have to hide about that?
I don't know, because from what I know, the initial investigation started with, I believe it was somebody from Alpha Phi that overdosed and died.
Yeah.
Which is just so sad.
Yeah.
I also asked for records related to that sorority, but they didn't give me anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me. That school isn't very transparent.
No, and I won't speculate on the sorority, but because I do have friends in that sorority now. But all sororities like to try to hide stuff, and I don't know if that has to do with nationals getting involved. But that would be also something to consider.
Yeah,
is what I'll say, because it's all politics, it's all reputation, it's all politics, and it doesn't matter what sorority you're in. That's how it is.
Oh, you mean just the administration of San Diego State? It's like, no, we're not.
Well, yeah, and also just Pan-Hellenic in general. And the nationals having say over what gets released. I don't know. It can get messy. So I don't even know what that looks like, getting records on a specific sorority. Fraternities, it seems to be a lot easier.
I thought they would at least give me something. But they gave me nothing.
At all. Which is weird because they made it sound like they were literally in the process of pulling something for you.
And redacting stuff.
What do you have to redact? No, really. What do you have to redact?
Probably what would be called personal identifying information, people's names, DOBs.
Okay, that's fine. So redact it. But don't treat this like the Epstein files. It's Operation Sudden Fall. Like, come on, San Diego State. At least release them.
Yeah.
Release the files.
Gonna start a protest. Just kidding.
I will.
I think also because of San Diego State's closeness to the border, it's just so easy to get
stuff across. Yeah, for sure.
Which is obviously concerning.
Yeah, it is. It all comes from there. And, there's a lot of... Because Operation Sudden Fall opened up a big conversation about how do we approach this epidemic. And I don't even think fentanyl was the big thing back in the day. I mean, You could tell me because I was 4 years old. I wouldn't know. But it's just... How do we approach this epidemic, and how do we do it to where we're trying to get to the root of the problem, but we're also keeping people safe? Because a lot of the pushback after Operation Sudden Fall was in regards to how they approached it and just doing a whole sting operation and
It was like on May 6th. Isn't that right before finals?
Yeah, and like blindsiding so many students, so many people got charged, even people that weren't even that involved, and ruined their lives. And that created a conversation about like, how can we make students feel safe? And, you know, if something's happening to their friend, how can we make them feel safe to call that in?
And not get in trouble.
You know, and I think they've gotten better about it, but it does still seem like at the end of the day, if something does happen at a fraternity or a sorority, somebody overdoses, something happens that's very tragic, SDSU will, you know, obviously help them and give them resources and whatnot. But then that also opens up questioning for the place that happened at, whether it was a fraternity or a sorority. Yeah. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying that's right. I will say that creates a weird dynamic in the house for people who know that, you know, their fraternity, their sorority, whatever, could start being looked into if somebody were to make a call. And that's when people start acting weird. And it's like, is this an unfixable problem? Probably. And it's sad. You know, because people will always be possessive if they feel threatened or if they feel like they're going to be threatened. And it's just the bottom line, and I cannot emphasize this enough. The bottom line is that it is never worth somebody's life. Not calling something in, it's never worth somebody's life.
We have good Samaritan laws here now in California.
Yeah, which is amazing.
But the problem is, and you know, I've represented several fraternity people and sorority girls since you've been at San Diego State. Yeah. Because I'm part of the parent group. I'm in one of the files if somebody gets in trouble. So I've dealt with several different fraternities that were being attacked for hazing, and just you get these letters from the Center of Student Rights and Responsibilities, I think it is. And there are these investigation letters, and it's this crazy process that these kids have to go to, and you're not entitled to have a lawyer because it's at your school. You're not being charged criminally. Yeah. So they have all these rules, and dealing with the school in regards to these letters and the information that they're trying to squeeze out of these kids at their investigation meeting is horrible. And it puts the kids in just such a bad position, especially those that, you know, were right about to graduate. Yeah. Yeah, it was...
The school does not give two shits about how they address things. We've dealt with it personally firsthand. Yeah. You've dealt with it firsthand for so many other students. Mm-hmm. I've seen it with my friends. Like, the Student Rights and Responsibility Department really needs to be readdressed, because...
You know what they say at the end of these letters. So you get a letter, and it's directed to, for example, just a fraternity kid. And it has, like, tons of examples of what they're claiming was going on in the fraternity for, like, 3 years. And at the very end of this very long letter, it says, "We're here for you. This could be hard for you to hear, and we care about your mental health." And
no,
I'm not kidding.
Kiss my ass.
It's in the bottom of every single letter. I was like, "Are you kidding me? You just said all this. This kid's now probably not going to graduate if you're going to find any of this true." And you're like, "Oh, but we're here for you."
Yeah, you're not here for us. You would look at the root of the problem and people that were directly involved, and not try to drag everybody into it and try to find an inconsistency in the story. You know. That's what they do, especially when they have to question people on a mass scale.
Well, yeah, and I've always, you know, there's people that I've helped that didn't call me until after they did that initial meeting. Yeah. And when I talk to these people, I'm like, I wish you would have called me first, because I could have given you the explanation of what's going to happen and how you need to handle this. Kind of like coach them, not, you know, to not tell them to lie, but you need to be advised before you walk into one of these meetings.
Yeah, because like they don't read you your rights because they're not the police, but everything you say can and will be used against you.
Oh yeah, they can just say, okay, here.
And I don't think people realize that. It's not a safe space.
No.
Student rights and responsibilities, it's not a safe space. Run as far away as you possibly can.
But we're here
but they're here for you. And they're going to take care of your mental health after they kick you out of school.
Yeah.
Oh wait, but no. because you're kicked out. So they're not responsible for you anymore.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They do need to redo something. It's really unfair to the student.
Oh yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah. Well, that brings me to another thing that I wanted to touch on, and it's that anonymous social media app that colleges use called Yik Yak.
Yik Yak.
That's crazy. And the reason, you've told me about it, and then there's parents sometimes that are like, what's Yik Yak in the San Diego?
Oh, yeah. Yik Yak is a whole... I deleted Yik Yak. Well, it was just on my old phone. I never re-downloaded it because I never would go on it anyways. There was a point in time I was the #1 yakker of all time at SDSU.
And it's anonymous, so they don't even know who you are.
Right. And I know I've been posted on there so many times. I know this is probably getting posted on there. And it's all love for the game because, I walked so they could run. That's how I look at it. You have...
What is the purpose of Yik Yak, though?
So stupid. It's literally just to talk shit on people behind a screen.
Oh.
And see if you can get validation for it. See if anybody agrees with you. They talk so much shit on the influencers at SDSU.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. It's such a weird thing because it started with one influencer who I first noticed the shit talking was Davis Rowe, who I love. I follow her. And people were so mean to her when she first started posting videos. And then she took off. Like, she took off. I think she has her own podcast deal now.
Wow.
She's so successful. Like, she could honestly drop out of college as a senior and be totally fine, but she's still graduating, Oh,
wow.
And I think it's really important if you're trying to do social media and you're in college. The one hump you're going to have to jump over is Yik Yak and people talking about you and seeing people upvote people talking shit about you.
Oh.
Because it's hard because when you're walking on campus, you don't know who has seen posts about you that are very negative, and you don't know who agrees with it.
But they can't post pictures, right?
Yeah, they can.
Oh.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can.
See, I've never...
So that's something that's a mental hoop you have to jump through, I would say. Because a lot of people are scared to start posting as influencers in college because they don't want people talking about them
on Yik
Yak, which is totally valid. And, if you don't see it, it doesn't exist.
It's true.
If you don't see it, it doesn't exist. You have to get off the app. That's not why I got off of it. I really just wasn't using it anymore. It got boring. Because all they would talk about were the other influencers, like Nicole Leano. After Nicole came to our school, that was all people could talk about. And it's like, guys,
there's more going on.
Like, isn't the library on fire right now? Shouldn't we be covering that?
Wasn't everything on fire last year?
Everything's been on fire. Like, it is literally... I shake my head and smile because I do love it. I have a special place in my heart for Yik Yak, but I hate it. It should be banned. It should be illegal. Like, why are we... Like, I participated. Okay, there was a way I had to get to #1 at one point, and I played that game, and then I realized, wow, this is jobless activities. This is really awful. Like, this is so embarrassing. I had a come to Jesus moment when I realized I was crouched in my little apartment, just typing about some frat. I'm like, I'm 20 years old. What am I doing? And so then I stopped using it because I really it's embarrassing.
That's
if
funny.
you use Yik Yak, you're embarrassing. But honestly, love you because I get it.
That's funny. All right. I know we're at the end of our time for this session, but we're going to do another session because our time was going to be so extended that I wanted to do this into 2 sessions.
We have so much to talk about.
We do. So we're going to sign off for right now.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. Okay.